is Reading Part C. I'm just going to introduce the format, what we can expect, and have a look at some examples. Okay, so let's go and have a look. Now, Reading Part C is tricky. It requires a lot of skills and knowledge, pre-existing knowledge, in order to be able to do it easily and to do it well. It also requires technique, and I think that's really important. Analysis is also important. So what can we expect? What we can expect is complicated vocabulary and complicated sentence structures. We can expect complex ideas. This is what we can expect inside of long texts. Okay, long texts, big paragraphs. Okay, and inside those paragraphs, there's a big focus on comprehension. What can you understand from these paragraphs? When you go from sentence to sentence to sentence, are you building up a large, complex mental picture of an idea? That's what it's all about. Okay. Now, in terms of the topics that could be included, it's a wide range of topics. Okay. A wide range of topics. You might have things like technology, communication, previous research, opinions. All of these things in fact, all of them could be included in the same text. Equipment, diseases, symptoms, everything you could imagine that's related to healthcare could be in these texts. They are academic style. Okay? They are academic style texts with a high register of vocabulary. Okay, that's what we can expect. Now, in terms of timings, in part B and C, there's 45 minutes. So in part C, people normally have around about 30 minutes, approximately 30 minutes to do 16 questions. Okay, now the way that those questions are split up is each text has 8 questions. We've got 2 texts, okay? 2 long texts in an academic style with multiple paragraphs, quite complicated vocabulary, and each text 8 questions. And the questions are MCQ4, okay? And that means multiple choice with 4 options. Now, in terms of skills, comprehension is the big one. Okay, there's a lot of referencing and use of linkers that connect ideas from sentences to each other. And quite often the questions will ask you to match something, an idea which is expressed over multiple sentences. So we've got to be able to understand how that referencing works. And obviously, if we don't have vocabulary, then we're in a bit of trouble, aren't we? Okay, so it's really important to have good vocabulary, to be always improving your vocabulary, and it's essential that you also have a technique and a strategy. At SET, we've got some great techniques around elimination, differentiation, and also understanding these text tools that build these complex ideas that I mentioned earlier. So let me show you an example. Okay, here is a text, a typical text. If we look how many paragraphs there are, we've got a number of different paragraphs. Okay, we've got different question types here that, even though they're all multiple choice, we've got this type of question, which is called a lexical question. And we've got a reference question, which is, it doesn't seem to be there. But there are reference questions as well. So we've got lexical questions. These test our ability to understand vocabulary in context. So text ability to understand vocabulary in context. and we've got reference questions. Okay, so the idea of this is that it's asking you, do you know? Do you understand what this or that or which is referring to in the text? Okay, so it's quite tricky to do that. And I think it's really important that you learn to analyze your answers when you get things wrong, when you do your mock test. Make sure that you go back and look at the questions that you got wrong and see why you got them wrong. And I do think that this is one part of the exam where you really, really benefit from talking to a specialist or an expert in OET. Okay, it's a very good idea to do that. So that's reading part C. We've got those 16 questions, multiple choice. It's quite tricky. It's hard to manage the time, but you will manage the time better if you improve your skills. Okay, so I hope that was useful. And we'll see you in some other videos where we discuss other aspects of the exam. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Usual formal structure for these types of classes.
Okay, so here I am with Edwin. Hi, Edwin.
Hey, Paul.
Hi, nice to see you. Okay, so Edwin, you are an OET hero, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, super. So where do you live?